Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I didn't think I was going to end up recording on this channel. Tonight I had a note of what I wanted to talk about, but I thought I was going to do that during the day, but I was really busy with packing orders. Was so excited to find out that Monday is a holiday. Right now I'm recording, it's January 16 and tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. No post office, so I got an extra day to pack orders. So I'm taking a little bit of a break tonight, and I thought I would talk to you guys for a minute. But what really happened is I just recorded for my Growing Up Crazy channel. Raw, that was emotional. It's quite the ordeal trying to heal. And like I have said before, I don't want to talk about that stuff here. That's on that channel. But all the TikTokers that I follow or all the YouTube videos that I watch, they're all no contact with their narcissist. And so my situation is unique where I never left mine. I'm sure there's others that are still with their narcissist, but I just don't happen to follow anybody who talks about that. I'd be very curious, so I'm going to start looking for that. Because, I think you have time to heal when you're alone, and I don't have that healing time. So I'm really trying to just set time aside. That's why I went back to that channel and started it up again, because I thought I can heal with her in the other room. But it's emotional. So anyway, if you want to go watch that video, the channel is Growing Up Crazy, and the link is in my description box. So now, what was I here to tell you? Oh yeah, so the video tonight talks about how my stuff used to disappear. My mother would give things away, throw things away, sometimes tell me, sometimes not. And it dawned on me that and I know that I've known this in the past, and I might have even talked about it before, but that, to me, is why I have such an issue with hoarding and not being able to get rid of things. My hoarding is a little bit different. It's like, I think when we think of hoarding, we think of people who just keep everything and still shop and bring new things in. I'm not about that. I just have a really hard time of letting go of things that I had, in the past. So I still was hoarding because I couldn't bring myself to throw things away. It's a very painful thing. The personal stuff, things like just junk, well, that just becomes overwhelming when there's so much of it. You look at it, you're like, where do I start? I don't even know what to do. And maybe I'll uncover something personal and then I'll be wrecked, So I grew up not being able to trust that something that I truly loved would be around, because my mother used to know what I really loved the most, and those were the things that she would get rid of. So it was just I think, again, I'm going to go back to the hoarding and what I went through when I was decluttering the house. You guys who watched me through that journey, you know how much it pained me and worried me that I had to go through personal stuff, cedar chest full of childhood things. It was awful. It was even more awful than I let on, because I was completely destroyed at times. I cannot believe that I got through this. And the other thing is, it is 1 year ago that I decided I was moving. I decided mid-January. It was not a New Year's resolution. It was mid-January, and I called Derek and I told him, I have to move. I have to move this year. I said, I don't care when it is, but I am moving. And that's how it was, and I never looked back. I also called my sister and let her know. Wanted to know how she would feel if I take our mother away, and her concern was more that, she didn't want me to leave her behind. She just doesn't, want the responsibility. And I understand that, because it's a big responsibility. And so this was in January. My mother was not in a nursing home, And I immediately started doing some decluttering, little things that I could handle. That was my biggest concern. How am I going to get through this? I had no clue how I was going to survive decluttering that house. Then I also started looking into, even at that time, transport for my mother, different things like that. And then in March, my mother ended up going into a nursing home. So I was like, maybe I could stay here. No, I quickly knew that it wasn't the fact that I had to run away because I was going nuts with my mother. I mean, I was going to take my mother with me anyway, so I would have that. But I did think, it'll be easier there. I'll have help. I'll have Derek, I'll have Skylar. But it really was the house that was bringing me way down. The responsibility of a house, the constant worrying about it falling apart, or furnaces breaking, and me having to make phone calls. I hate to make phone calls. So the house was really getting me down. Then when my mother was in the nursing home in March, now it freed me up to really start planning. And I even had gone to see Derek. Where was he? Olive Branch, Mississippi. That March, I think I left as soon as she was in rehab. She was in rehab first, and then she was finally admitted to long-term care. So that gave me a break. I was able to travel and not have to worry about my mother because she was being taken care of. And I talked about it with Derek there. We still just were trying to plan the whole thing. But then we knew he was going to be moving. He wanted to move to Hernando. So I certainly didn't want to hook up with an apartment right away. I needed to know where he was going to be, and because I wanted to live near him. So I just kept doing stuff and trying to plan it. And I started talking about it with you guys, telling you May 30, major life changes on the way. So that's when I brought it to YouTube. And, at that point, my channel changed quite a bit. And it was mostly all about my journey from Maine to Mississippi. And it has been an ordeal. I'm telling you, there are days that I just can't believe that I actually did it. There are days that I feel like I went through all that and it still sucks. Life still sucks. But I will say the stress that I felt living in a place where there's still winter, and just the stress of being in charge of things, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. For someone like me who doesn't even want to make a phone call, you can't be worried about being snowed in, or, it's just, I don't know. It was just awful. And, just so many awful things. All the planning for the transport, because initially my mother was going to go by non-emergency medical transport. All the calls that I had to make, me who hates calls, all the time I spent on the phone trying to find the best people, and then constantly calling about this apartment. When Derek moved and we knew where he was, I started right away, looking for availability. And I didn't get it until, I think I got it in September, I do believe. And at one point, my goal was to move in September, but I didn't get in September, but October. That wasn't bad. Last day of October. But, I just couldn't believe it was happening. I just couldn't. And it's definitely the right decision. I made the right decision. And bringing my mother was also the right decision, only because no matter what kind of a relationship we have, I would just feel like she was abandoned in a dog kennel. That's what it just feels like. She would just be alone at that nursing home. And I know I would be here now, like really regretting letting any human be in a nursing home if they don't absolutely have to be. So she's here. Still very anxious to get help. I did not think I'd be in a position to be taking care of my mother again after 6.5 months in a nursing home. I used to wake up every morning like, oh, I can't believe that I'm alone. It just felt so good. It really did. And now I'm not only back to being with her, but I'm back to talking about it on my Growing Up Crazy channel, which, like I said, it tears me up, it wears me out, but I think it's very important that I deal with all of this. I have to, because it makes me sick to my stomach. And I'm just trying to find some peace in, whatever I have left of life. I feel like it's going by so fast, and I feel like I never really had a life, not to myself, and certainly not really a happy one. Always been stressed, always been nervous about everything, always felt like everything was my responsibility. And now I just would like to work. I love my work. I love what I do. And, I'm anxious to know what else I'll do, because my careers are usually good for 5 to 10 years. So, I don't know what I'll be doing in another 5 years from now. It might be something totally different. I just love that I can do whatever I want. I just need for some other things to change. And with COVID now, even that daycare, babysitter, whatever, somebody to come and sit with my mother, can't do it now because of COVID. So it's just, I'm just meant to live with this a little bit longer. So I just wanted to, let you guys know that it's been a whole year since I decided I was going to move. And I just was determined to get it done in 2021, and I did. And I have a lot of regrets. I have a lot of things that did work out that I am happy about. And like I said, I made the right choice. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much for watching, and go check out my other channel. Bye.